hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of PAR Real Talk. My name is Pali. I'll be the host of the show. Welcome to Power H Radio. And if I get my guests to please introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us what you do, and tell us where you're from as well, please.
My name is Nick Austin. I'm originally from Massachusetts, kind of bounced around the United States like a gypsy. And I work in entertainment. I'm a commercial actor, voiceover artist, and model, and farmer.
Uh, oh wow, that's a lot of different hats you wear there. That's pretty cool. And I kind of want to go first for my uh, first question, as you mentioned Massachusetts, right? So that's where you grew up from.
Yep.
How has this upbringing influenced your decision to pursue a career in acting?
I grew up pretty good. I have, two parents. They worked hard, showed me I guess the morals of working hard and work ethic and all that. My dad was in the Marine Corps, and he struggled for different challenges. His life always provided. My mom, same thing. I have a brother. He's in the Marine Corps, and like I said, we all grew up good. And I just kind of, it's weird. In high school, like I took a class on music history, and it was like, back in the day, music history was kind of combined with acting. It's all like, musical stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, it's pretty interesting. I love like the old school Hollywood stuff. And then, upon that, I got class clown actually my senior year, and it kind of gave me like a weird confidence to just pursue the acting dream. Even though, you're 18, you don't know anything about life. You're just like, oh man, I could be funny. Maybe I can make some money at it. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the start of it. Like Massachusetts had great schools. I grew up great friends. I mean, I really can't complain in any aspect of that.
Oh, it's really, really, really good. And I think you kind of alluded to my next question. So you were named the class comedian in high school.
Yeah.
And how did it shape your confidence and drive you into entertainment?
I guess so. I was actually boxing too at the same time, and we were training in Rhode Island. We used to train students at Providence College, some self-defense stuff. So, men and women in school have a little bit of knowledge. Like, they're young, they're on the streets, going out, so and so, whatever, drinking. And I was, right after I graduated high school. But with class clown, I don't know. It gave me like a weird confidence that like, okay, so people think I'm funny in my school. Like, maybe I really am funny. Like, let me take a stab at this. And then boxing, all that is entertainment as well. Trainer, when we were down there, he was like, "Yeah, all boxing is entertainment." And I'm thinking like, okay, so like, why am I getting hit in the head? Like, it's not really that fun for me. Like, I'm not the greatest boxer, so I started to like kind of put two and two together. Like, you know what? Like, let's just go for it. And I did 2 years of community college in Worcester, which was just it was good. I mean, it's, learning curve. I'm around different people from in their 40s to young, and you learn a lot of different life in that aspect as opposed to going to regular university, where you stay there. Um, but yeah, then from there, just kind of like I just started taking off with it, doing research and winging it.
Well, this is it. That's what we have to do. Just take it short. It's all in the dark. You're not sure where you're going, but follow that dream. And you left college to fully commit to acting. What was the turning point? Why?
So as soon as when was it, 2017. So I had done a lot of extra work on local films, New York, Boston. I learned a ton about the industry. Like, extra work's you might not be able to, you could be an extra forever, right? But it's a good way to learn a lot of different things about how the industry works, especially in the TV film world and some commercial stuff. Then I started taking classes in New York and, meeting a few different people, had some auditions, some failures, whatever. And then I booked a regional commercial in Connecticut, which actually the craziest part is I didn't book the commercial. I auditioned for it. I didn't get it, but I said I would do an extra role for it because, I was still young working in the business and production. The client they wanted to bump me up to a principal role. And I think I just waved at a crowd. It was like something like that. Then I'm like, oh man, like that's my first real legit like gig. So then from there, I started to book some smaller stuff still. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I left. I was working at a paint company for 5 years. I had really no idea what I'm doing in my life. I dropped out of college. I'm like, screw it. I'm moving down to Florida. So I packed up everything and I had like $1,000. I just went down to Florida. I stayed with my uncle for about a year. And so as soon as I got down there, I signed with an agency. And 3 weeks later, I booked my first national commercial union job for Carnival Cruise Line that aired during the Olympics. And that honestly was the biggest, that was the biggest thing and worst thing that happened to me in some ways. But it propelled me to just get in a lot more auditions, get my name out there more. And also the bad side is, I made decent money and I had some stuff I've went through and whatever. You're young. I was 24 years old. I thought I was king of the world. I was getting interviews. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'm a big dog. And that wasn't the case, but it had to happen to get to where I am now. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I feel you. Um, and kind of like let's keep digging a little bit, right? So, what for you? Obviously, you're now doing it. What was it like stepping onto that film set for the first time? As an you were an extra in Bleed for this, right?
Yeah, Bleed for the Central Intelligence. A lot of different movies where I've met some, A-list actors and they were all, super cool. Everyone I've worked around is just pretty respectful and good. I mean, I'm just, I'm there to do obviously my job, what they hired me for, but it's definitely interesting. I mean, you go for your fitting, as an extra anyway, you go for your fitting and they, tell you the dates you're working, whatever. You show up, it's usually long days, but I'm always scanning. I'm not just there to like do my job, but I'm trying to look around, see how people do things, see how the main actors, do their job and what different people I can meet that could help me or give me different advice, you know what I mean? But it was some of the big stuff like Central Intelligence was pretty cool. I did a small little scene with Kevin Hart and he was just super respectful, shook my hand like, "Hey Kevin, nice to meet you," like as if I don't know who he is, you know what I mean? But it was uh it was a pretty wild ride. And then once, you go from that then to being like the lead on a commercial and they bring you in, then that was a game changer. They treat you obviously super well, but and I don't need all that. I just show up to do my thing. Like I said, I mean, I don't need any special treatment, but they treat you great. And it was when you have like lines and you're there, the cameras are there, and it was pretty wild for sure. And now it's weird now because I just become numb to it, the good and bad. I could get something huge tomorrow, or I could fail, 20 auditions, but it's like it's the same feeling either way because, you can't have too much emotion to it. Not when you're in the hustle of it.
I like that a lot. Because obviously for like in your line of work, you know, there will be loads of auditions that you do, but you get a lot of rejection, but you might just get that one. How do you handle this? Like think, okay, that's just a stepping stone, I just move on, or does that not affect you, or you just bulletproof?
I try to look at it in a couple different ways. Like I try to take the positive from the negative. You know what I mean? Like every failed audition is at least still my name getting out there. The casting director offered me a chance to read. Sometimes they request you for an audition once, they get to know your name a little bit. This year alone, I think I've already had like 21 auditions for various stuff, like top commercials, a couple movie things, whatever. And, I might not get any of them. And as soon as it's done, I'm just on to the next thing. And I work with a voiceover guy in New York who's successful, retired, but he tells me you have to be numb to it. Like you can't have attachment. Once you do your audition and if you win, stay quiet. If you lose, stay quiet. It is what it is, Like I have become very like bulletproof to it. And which is crazy because rejection from women, that affects me more than rejecting of an audition, but whatever, we're only human, right?
No, absolutely, absolutely. I like the way you finish it there, but I'm not going to comment anymore. Uh, and so you've worked with like brands like, Carnival Cruise, Porsche, KPMG. Do you have a favorite project or brand collaboration?
So the biggest project I've ever done was Carnival Cruise because it was Shaquille O'Neal. It was a big budget project before COVID, before the whole industry really changed. But honestly, my favorite, I want to say just experience as a whole in life and especially for my career was I did a shoot last year for Kawasaki. They launched a brand new side by side. And coming from the background I have, like working on a farm, I'm an outdoor person. I love that stuff, hunting, fishing, or not so much, hunting, but just being outdoors. Um, and getting the call to get booked for that. And I was down in West Virginia for a week, basically at these cabins. We were riding the side by side, shooting all these awesome shots, and I'm around a bunch of different people from LA and all over the country. But that was my favorite because it's just so relatable to me as a person. Like I said, I'm an outdoors dude. Like I'm going ice fishing later with my family. Like we have fires at the farm. I run all the machines. Like that's just me, that'll never change. But that was the most rewarding for sure. The experience was just unbelievable. I wish I could take a lot of background uh, you know, footage of it, but they had all of our phones blocked and taped off because it was such a high budget global release for this new product they were launching.
Wow,
It was wild.
it's really, really incredible. I know, working with someone like Shaquille O'Neal, and this aired nationally during the Winter Olympics as well. Um,
Yep.
how did, how do you feel? Do you think, wow, am I really doing this? Do you pinch yourself moments or working with all these
For
big
sure.
icons?
So when I that it aired, it was supposed to air on a couple different networks, but for in the beginning it was NBC that picked it up, and I was actually on a run in Florida, and it was around the time they carried the torch with the Olympics and all that stuff. So I was just on a run, and I didn't have my phone on me. Sometimes I just like to just chill, whatever. And I got back, I had a bunch of text messages from all kinds of people. Oh, dude, we just saw you on TV on the right before they lit the torch on NBC and this and that. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Like I was like, are you serious? And it was like all over Facebook, people tagging me and pictures and like I said, people texting me. So I was like, wow, that's legit. But it honestly took me like I think over a week to see it live on TV. I had a lot of people see it, friends, family, people all over the place, and it finally when I saw it, like I think I was sitting at my uncle's house. We were watching some sort of event that they were doing for the Olympics, and it came on, and I'm like, oh damn, that's me. Like that's crazy. That's me right there. Like this is what I did. I remember each scene, everything we've done, what we talked about in between scenes, like it was just the craziest. It was a crazy experience seeing that. And then you have that excitement, but you can't get too high off it. You know what I mean? You can't ride that high for too long, which I did a little bit because I was young and stuff, but um I also took it as like let's go after this now. Like you did this, like you can do anything. It was very motivating, because I mean I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up for certain things with sports or whatever. So once I found this industry to kind of pay off for me, I'm like, screw it, let's let it ride.
Wow, that is really, really, really incredible. I like that. And
Thank you.
what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, when transitioning from regional to national projects?
Um, Honestly, but just in general, the biggest challenge is my own self for sure, my own mind. Like, I overthink everything just in general day-to-day life. So that puts a damper on some things. Obviously, you can get in your own head and like, oh, should I be here? And why am I really here? Like you second guess a lot of stuff and self-doubt. When you first go on some of these big projects, especially for national TV, it's pretty wild and see, like I said, seeing yourself on the TV, it's like, oh wow, like I'm legit doing this. And then, even to this day, I see commercials on TV that I've auditioned for. I didn't get them, but then I think to myself, like, all right, dude, like you're legit going after the same thing that a lot of these top, commercial actors are as well. So
Mm.
it definitely builds confidence in that aspect. But um I mean, I take everything the same. It's crazy. I do a lot of stuff for Amazon, and there are a lot of smaller projects. Like it could be like a 1 day shoot, but I go into it with the same exact mindset as I would booking some massive broadcast TV project. You know what I mean? Like I try to get all my ducks in a row, study what I have to study, and just the main thing, honestly, it's going to sound crazy, but just being myself. When I look at a project and it could be anything from, like I said, national, regional, small market, internet commercial, whatever, a modeling thing. All I care about at this point at in my career is that was I myself. Just I know it's acting, you have to act, but you could tell when someone overacts, you know what I mean? So I just want to be me, like bring my twist to the script and just let it flow. Like you look at a script a lot of times, it could be like I said, massive project, small project, but you have to read it, go through it, and how does that relate to something that you've been through in life? You know, you have these substitutions for it because then you're just playing off it. You don't even realize it. You know, the cameras could be there, but you're just so focused on doing what you're doing.
Mm, that's really, really cool. I like that. I like the way you broke it down as well. Thank you. And so you moved from South Florida. You moved to South
Yep,
Florida at
Southbridge,
some
yeah.
point, which is kind of
Yep.
a bold step for your career, I would say. How did that environment change your opportunities?
So, when I first started, obviously I had a lot of extra work background, and some small regional commercials, some small stuff. So I just said like, I'm not ready for New York City. I just don't have like the experience and LA, kind of the same thing. So I was like, you know what? Miami has a strong commercial market. And I needed to do something in my life and like I was enrolled at two colleges at the same time at one point. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just like, I still don't, man. I'm just like, you fly across the country, you wake up from a nap and you look out the window, you don't know where you are. That's me. But
Mm,
no, so I went down there, and I had a great family I could stay with while I continued to do my hustle. And so I was on the West Coast in Fort Myers area, in between Fort Myers and Naples, and I would drive across the state, which is like 2 hours, probably three times a week for auditions. And I just had the hustle of like, who cares? You get one life, just run it, go for it. And it paid off, obviously, getting gigs and projects, financially and even just morally to like keep myself going, keep my character going. But yeah, the market there was it was just the best choice for me. I saw it as a different opportunity than if I'm 23 years old, go to New York City. How many other people are doing the same thing? Which they could have more talent than me, but I knew that I would never be outworked. That's one thing. And to this day, it's like I'll drive across country tonight just to get something going. Like that's just how my mentality always is. But yeah, it was that was the greatest thing I've done. Like I love Miami. The industry there is very different from LA and New York, but the opportunities there were awesome. I mean, the people I met, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Even the ups and downs, collapses, whatever. We all go through different things, right?
absolutely. Oh, that's really cool. And kind of let me eh, just get back on that bit of, you travel, you go coast to coast, and even went to Dubai for a project. Is there a dream location where you
Yep.
just love to set in?
Um, it's crazy. I'm from Massachusetts, obviously. I have a lot of family here. And I've always liked like honestly, like some parts of Southern Connecticut, it's close to New York City. I'm a New York person. I love New York City. I think it's the most craziest city on earth still out of all the places I've been to. But I'd like to live somewhere close to New York, I think, or honestly, probably like Miami for sure. Obviously, two very expensive areas, so you got to kind of make the capital to, have that arrangement. But yeah, I love those areas. Like I said, New York's a crazy place because it just doesn't stop. It's
Mm,
Vegas is Vegas, Dubai is Dubai, Miami, but New York is like you could walk into a deli, you got a guy trading hedge funds on Wall Street, an actor, a pilot, a firefighter, a cop. Like no one cares who you are, what you do. You're just all there to get what you get and go about your day. It's pretty wild.
mm. Oh, nice. Sounds a bit like London to me. Well, I'm guessing probably on
Yeah.
a higher spectrum.
Right.
And I kind of want to cover this before we talk and forget it.
Yeah.
So if people want to reach out to you, where are the go-to places? Do you have a website? Is there social media handles? What can we search for?
.com. My social media, my Instagram is Farmer Wears Prada, and my Facebook is just Nick Austin. Or it could be like another tag, Nick Austin 508. 508 is the area code of where I'm from, so I always got to show support to that. But yeah, those are my social medias, which I'm actively trying to grow. I've started to work with, some PR people and And obviously, social media is a huge marketing point for I think anybody in entertainment, anybody with a business, really. Like it's especially post COVID, the whole world changed. Obviously, everything's so virtual, right? But those are my handles.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. So we'll be there to go and search and follow, follow, follow. Um,
Yeah.
and let's kind of go back to you, basically. Like if you could give someone advice where they're just starting up their career, you say you've tried all different things, what advice would you give?
Like, what advice would I give to somebody trying to get into this industry?
Yeah, this is it. Just starting off their day. Maybe not even necessarily in the industry. Maybe, you've tried so many things. So, how can they navigate their passion?
Right, right. Just life in general. I mean, like, honestly, yeah, you said it, like, just go for passion. Everything to me is passion. Like, if you can tell when you watch a TV show or listen to a song with certain music artists, like that they're true with what they're saying, like their passion, and even just, interviews, different things, construction work. You can tell when people are legit passionate about what they do. So that would be my thing, honestly. Keep it simple. Find your passion. Like go through life trying to find whatever your passion is. I have a brother, he's a pilot in the Marine Corps, and that's been his passion to fly since he was young, and he made it happen. He just landed a big contract with the company. So that everything to me is just it's the passion like that. That's how I grew up around my family. My grandparents had a restaurant. My other grandparents, my uncle or my grandfather was a pilot. So it's when you go into these industries and these tasks, it's like it's more about it's never about the money. To me, it was never about the money. My dad always said that, like never go for the money. And even this business, I never look at jobs like money. Like I said, it could be a job pays, 20 grand or $1,000 for the day. And I keep it the same no matter what, the same attitude. And I think that's how you have to be. And honestly, I think one of the main things aside from having passion for something is don't get down on yourself, but don't get too high either. You can't ride the high. You can't like get this ego, like, oh man, like I'm this and that, because you can lose it at any point. And if you're down, it's just tough to get up. Like that's why I love the farm, because for me, like I got my cows and pigs out back. I go feed them. They don't care that it's 20 degrees outside and that I've been on TV before, or they could care less if I'm a CEO of a company. They're like, yeah, yeah, dude, we want our feed. You know what I mean? Like they
Mm,
don't look at anybody differently. But that's the thing. Like, and I mean, aside from that topic, it's just kind of like use your, I guess, like what I've been through in different aspects of life, in terms of my career to just help other people get involved with what they want to do and grow. You know what I mean? Like not like you said, not necessarily just this industry of entertainment, but find your passion. And if I can help people with that, because I do know what it takes to like hustle after something and the failures and the naysayers, the haters, whatever. And you're always gonna have that in anything. You could start a coffee
mm.
company and someone's gonna just not be about it. You know what I mean? Like, but passion is everything for sure.
It's really, really cool. Thank you for that advice. Yeah, I'll actually take myself just to, you know, just yeah, find what you're passionate about. Don't think too much about the money and just go for it. I
Right.
like that. Thank you. And
Exactly.
I would say,
Exactly.
what's the funniest or most unexpected thing that's happened to you on set?
So actually recently, this is crazy. So I want to say it was a Wednesday. There's a casino called Mohegan Sun. It's about an hour from me. It's one of the biggest casinos in the world, actually. And I tried to get some gigs with them before, and I've always wanted to because it's local. I love the casino, the atmosphere, the vibrancy, whatever. So I submitted 3 times for this project, and I didn't get it. I'm like, damn. Like I start to kind of like, what the heck? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, because you can get in your own head, like, oh, is it me? And once you go down that road, it opens up a nightmare for you. So you can't think like that. It's not personal. Screw it. On to the next, right? So it was like 2 days later. I'm at the farm. I'm getting ready to move the cows from one pasture to another, and it was like 8:30. An email comes in, and they're looking for a rush call for this Mohegan Sun shoot. So I submitted for it. My buddy's like, "Yeah, dude, send in for it." I work with one other guy, great dude. Um, and they email me back in 5 minutes, like, "Hey, Nick, are you available? Can you get down here for 9:30? Can you just, send a couple recent shots or blah, 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 whatever." So we went through a couple email thread and the client wanted to book me. And like, "Can you be here for 9:30?" Meanwhile, it's 8:30. I'm on my farm. It's about hour, 10 minutes away. I'm like, "I got you. I'll be there." So I'm in my muck boots. I got my jeans on, my sweatshirt, whatever. Like I look like I'm on a farm. So I run home to grab something. And I fly down to the casino. I'm probably doing like 100 on the highway. Like I'm just ripping down. I pull up the valet. I'm like, "Oh, I'm here for a shoot." They knew who I was, whatever. They parked my car. So I run up to the casino. We go to the location we were shooting in this restaurant. And I had my muck boots on, which are like, farm boots, rubber boots that go up to your knees. I had my jeans on with grease, a greasy hoodie, a hat. And I was like, "Yeah, this is me." They were all laughing. Like I was like, "I told you I was going to make it happen." Like, so they sent me through wardrobe, hair and makeup, got all done up, changed up, whatever. And then we shot the scene and it was a few hour shoot, whatever, but it was crazy because it was just two extremes. Like, 1 minute I'm on the farm getting ready to move cows. Next minute I'm doing like a modeling shoot for a casino. Just two very extremes. And I've had a similar situation with Porsche and Wheels Up. I had booked a project in I don't know, a couple years ago, whatever, and they flew me down to Atlanta. And Wheels Up's like a private jet company. So one day I'm on the farm, got a call, I book it. I had to fly through the night. I shot the next day in Atlanta, and I flew home that night. So it was like I'm on the farm, I'm hooking up a mower on a tractor actually to do like some fall cleanup, and so I flew down to Atlanta, shot on a private jet around Porsches, all that stuff. The next day I got back to the farm, I was cleaning out a goat pen, and so I'm like you could see where it has these like massive highs and lows of like, okay, I'm on a private jet and I'm around $1 million cars and now I'm cleaning up after goats. Like, okay, my life's
Mm,
like weird, but honestly, I love it. I wouldn't change it. Keeps me
it's
going.
really, that is really, really incredible, from one extreme to the other. Yeah, wow, who would for a
Yeah, it's
farmer
wild.
be an actor? He seriously is. And let me ask another random question as to dead or alive, if you could co-star with
Yeah.
any actor, who would it be?
Um, Honestly, like if you're talking like an A-list actor, like someone who's like big time made it, whatever, I would probably say like Kevin James, maybe Adam Sandler, some of those, that crew there for sure. But I love Kevin James. He's one of my favorite. I love his comedy. I think he can be funny and be clean. Like that's a super talent, I think. Because anyone can just come off the rails, start saying wild stuff, right, and make people laugh. But yeah, I just love King of Queens is my favorite show of all time. So just I think working around him would be an unbelievable time. I do.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, just never know, right? Let's speak
Yeah.
into existence and we'll see what happens.
Right, right. Yeah, who knows, right?
Who knows? And let me as we're kind of wrapping up, your farm animals,
Yeah.
if they could talk, what do you think they would say about you?
My animals,
Yes, well, if they
like
could
like the
talk,
goats and
well,
pigs and cows and all that.
this is it, yeah.
I think I mean they do get loud. The pigs can get loud when they're hungry, but I go in the pen with them and they're 250 pounds. They're right now they're big and they can be super aggressive, the cows too. But I think honestly, I think they would just I'm not trying to like have an ego, but I think they would think I'm a good dude. I always check their water twice a day. I feed them. I go in, I like to, I pet them and I try to like just show them like I treat them like a dog, honestly. I enjoy being around them, like they can just hear the diesel from one of our John Deere's start up, and once they hear that, they know like typically I'm in the machine and we have the spent grain because our farm has a brewery as well, so they love the spent grain and we feed it to them, and they're all running around all over. To them, it's like I don't know what the relation is to being a human. I don't know, maybe winning money at a casino, but like, yeah, they go crazy. All the cows, everything, they moo, they love it. But I like to think they think I'm a pretty good dude. I've always shown them respect, treated them well. Hopefully, they got my back.
So, no, this is good. This is good because it shows kind of what sort of person you are. Because animals, they need us.
Right.
They can't just do their own thing, but the care that you give to them,
Right.
that's really, really. And what's in
Oh,
the
for sure.
pipeline for you?
So like I said, this year started off very good. I've been revamping all my social media accounts, my website. I'm really trying to grow my brand. I just did my 30th commercial actually, not national, but 30 advertisement, guess I should say, back in October. So that was kind of like a mini milestone, I guess. But yeah, this year started off hot with a lot of auditions from, things my agents have sent me. And, we'll see what happens. Sometimes things take time. Production clients. I have one project in the works. For a client in New York. I think that'll be a couple weeks out. And then next week I'm gonna have a shoot in Miami. Kind of more of a modeling shoot, but a lot of it goes with updating stuff for my agency as well. So that's kind of like a big tool for me to get all that done. But yeah, it's been great. I'm working on my voiceover demo actually. I should have that hopefully this year, and then hopefully start to get a lot of voiceover work because that's a very fun industry as well and a lot different than what most people think. It's not just having a nice voice. It's there's a lot to it for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the future. So if I can just keep the ball rolling with, a lot of good relationships with my agents and these auditions, and a lot of these auditions are for, very well-known companies. So I'd like to think this year is going to be a great year. Like, sure, we got to pick each other up and keep going.
Mm. It's crossed. Well, keeping those fingers crossed for you because yeah, I think you definitely deserve
That's
it.
right.
And let me kind of ask my wrap-up question. Um, you know, Obviously
I appreciate
acting
that.
requires you stepping into somebody else's shoes. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned about yourself playing
Yep.
these roles?
Honestly, that you almost can't be somebody else. You have to stay true to who you are. You have to be yourself. Like I've done some things where I'm looking like, that's not me. And sometimes you can like you got to act a little bit, right? You got to fake some things, I guess, in some sense. But what I've learned now, like the hardest challenge I still face is just being my true authentic self. Like when I get the script, it's like, okay, like how do I substitute something in my life, whether it could be depression, anxiety, a happy day, a bad day, um, to use that and put it part of the script, you know what I mean? And then it just it resonates to me, because I put my own story behind their script and I'm doing that. I'm doing what I think, you know what I mean? Kind of hard to explain, but yeah, it's I learned so much just about myself throughout the whole journey of it. Like when I was younger, booking some projects, getting some, decent money. And like, I thought I had to dress a certain way, buy designer stuff just because that's like the whole whatever, you have this image. But now I don't know, I'm just me, like I got John Deere sweatshirt on right now. I got my boots. Like I know what I've done and no one can take that from me. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm also going to just be my own self on the side. I think as crazy as it is, the more I've booked and the higher level I've got, the more it's grounded me. I don't know if it's just because like the farm life, but it brings you down to like, hey, like this is still life. Like in 100 years, no one's probably going to remember my name anyway. So just live it for while I'm here.
Mm, No, that's a beautiful, beautiful answer. Yeah, any closing remarks to the viewers?
Just honestly, live each day and be good to each other. The world's a crazy place. Just pick each other up, and we're all going through something. We all have a story to tell. I don't care if you're an actor or you're working at Dunkin' Donuts or a CVS or a radio host or a pilot, anything. Everyone's got a crazy story, and they're all going through stuff. So I think a new thing for me this year is definitely like just holding my head high to be a good person and help people out and pick people up, because it's a lot of people have picked me up and I'm grateful for that. And without the people around me, whew, life would be a wild ride. It still is a
Mm,
wild ride, but it'd be worse.
no,
So
no, that's
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 that's that's my goal is honestly just continue to hopefully build each other up for sure. We don't need any more negative stuff in the world at all.
No, absolutely. I like that. I like that closing remark. And okay, if you could leave us with any kind of acting or recitement or I don't know, just show us what you do as yeah, as a wrap up, please.
Oh, what was that again? It cut out a little bit. Sorry.
Well, I was saying if you want to give us a little acting moment there, probably just for like 10 seconds, just as, let's see what you do.
Honestly, the whole time I'm talking to you, this is pretty much me. Like you could set up a camera right now. I do an interview for something for McDonald's and I look at the menu and I'm like, yeah, let me get a number one. And what's my buddy? What do you want? Of course, he's got to change the menu all the time, and nothing can be easy. But that's actually what I did last night for an audition. That same exact little skit because I put myself in the shoes if I have a friend. Every time we go somewhere, he can't just get something off the menu. He's got to change it. So I'm like, okay, all right. The casting director's like, go up to it's for McDonald's. You're at a McDonald's. Walk up thing. You're gonna order your meal. So I'm like, oh, I'll get a number one, blah, blah. Oh, what's my friend want? And my buddy always changes everything. He's like, can I get this with no pickles and onions? And it turns into a difficult thing. So that's kind of like just how I played it off because that's how I am. So that's what I'm saying. Like you relate something to your life to the audition or to the booking. And it just, I don't know, kind of effortlessly flows.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, thank you so, so much for coming on the show. It's been so great talking to you from a farmer to an actor. We see
Yeah,
you on the farm one day, and the next minute you're marking ships. Thank you so much for coming
absolutely.
on the show.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. And it was great talking with you. I wish you the best of health, luck, and success and everything in the future. And I'm sure we'll be in touch at some point for sure.
Most definitely. Take care.
All right. Thanks, sir. Later.
Bye.
Power Ace Radio.